Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today it's time to start off with rankings talk. Jeff, are you excited? I'm actually excited. This feels like, I mean, that's a long way away, but it feels like we're getting ready for the season now.
Kind of the official launching off point.
Yeah, we have the rookies in. We can rank them now. I don't know. It's
starting to get the lay of the land, if you will.
Getting a little better idea. I'm starting to actually, get an idea of where I should put these guys, but still, we've already been talking about it. There's some guys, I don't know. Once you get outside the top 10 especially, not sure what to do with them yet. Don't have a clue. We're going to do, top 20 today, so we'll get to those. Haven't really done ranks beyond that yet because it is tough, especially if you don't know where to throw the rookies in yet. Don't know how people are going to be used. So we'll go over all of that, but make sure you guys go check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet or Instagram at Fantasy Football Prophet. The website's fantasyfootballprophet.com. You can always email us, fantasyfootballprophet@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you want to start figuring out your keepers maybe, I'm getting a few questions already for that, so just keep them coming. We'll definitely be answering them on later shows. We'll have mailbag shows probably. We'll start doing those. I'm thinking after we get the rankings done, start doing mailbags, start doing that kind of stuff like we plan on. And also keep an eye out for the listener leagues. We'll bring it up a little bit more, but once again, we're going to have listener leagues this year. We had, 5 last year? 5 listener leagues? We might do more this year. Who knows? Whoever wants to join. And we'll just say the way you're going to be able to enter the listener leagues is you get an entry if you write a review of the podcast on iTunes. So if you want to get a head start on that, go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, send us an email, let us know that, hey, I reviewed the podcast. Maybe send us a screenshot, and we'll already put you into the entry list for the league. So if you do that, you're going to be in the league automatically. So that's how you're going to get in. We'll start talking about that a little bit more, probably a month or so. But the winner will get a nice championship belt by Pro-Am Belt. So I'm going to try to win because I kind of want to keep the belt.
The belt is pretty sweet, actually.
It's going to be quite nice. So if you guys want to win that thing, make sure you get in our leagues and go, review us on iTunes. If you already have reviewed us on iTunes last year, maybe to enter something, you're in, basically. So just let us know, hey, I want to enter. Maybe go subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or something. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us out there if you've already reviewed it. So that'll help us out. But, all right, top 20. Running back ranks.
Right down the line.
Here we go. We don't know each other's ranks yet either. So this is always interesting to see. You get genuine reactions between us if we disagree with somebody on what the ranks are. I don't think there's going to be too much of a disagreement within the top 4. I think we're going to probably have about the same top 4 guys.
Yeah, I don't think
they'll be ranked probably. They might be ranked differently.
Right.
We'll see.
Shuffle.
I don't even know if they will.
My guess is we really don't depart from one another until we hit,
5.
Yeah, like the low teens. Oh, I don't even think that. Maybe we're about to be upset because I feel like the top 10 is pretty locked down.
So my number 1, you know what? I'm just going to go with it again. I'm going to go with Gurley. He was the number 1 guy last year. He's extremely talented. We know that. So I'm Todd Gurley, my number 1.
Yeah, Todd Gurley, number 1 as well.
So I have thought about putting Bell there, but again, it's the holdout again. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. So this early on, I'm gonna stick with Gurley, and Bell's gonna be really, really good again. He's gonna catch a ridiculous amount of passes. It's just when you have guys that are both this good, and one of them is obviously frustrated with his team and might want to get out of there after this year. Didn't want to be franchise tagged. It's tougher to pick that guy over the guy who is a pretty much a sure thing.
And to qualify this as well, Gurley straight up outplayed Bell. They were 1-2 last year, but he outplayed him. They both missed 1 game, I believe, and Gurley outscored him by 60 points almost. Yep. It wasn't even close. So, and Gurley is coming back to that same team, that same scheme. They're going to pound the ball out. They're going to play great defense. Pittsburgh has a lot of guys that can still throw to. Bell is an exceptional talent.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he is as good as they come. But, Gurley made a huge step last year, and he's in such a prime time location. And there's no one behind him taking carries away anymore either. Well, I shouldn't say anymore, but they could have picked someone up just to keep him healthy a little longer, but no.
This is okay, and this is what bothers me sometimes about I see other people ranking players and why they don't put maybe Gurley number 1. The reason I've seen people not put Gurley number 1 is, well, when's the last time a player finished number 1 back-to-back seasons? It was Priest Holmes back in the early 2000s, but that's not a good reason to not put him number 1. Sure, the chances of him actually finishing number 1 again aren't that great, but when you're doing these ranks and you're drafting players, you draft it off who has the best chance to finish number 1. I'm not saying he's going to finish. This isn't my predicted order of finish at all. This is just how I think you should be drafting these players. So don't base it off, well, he can't finish number 1 again. No, he maybe not. But you know what? At the worst, you're going to get a top 5 guy.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're playing the odds, right? You're not here trying to predict the winner.
No, and there's too many people I see are trying to predict the end of your finish, and that's not what you were doing here. This is just
who is more. I mean, that's why he's number 1. Who's safer pick than Gurley?
He's the safest. He is the safest,
without a doubt. I would say
because Bell. Who is Bell number 2 for you?
Yeah, he is number 2 for me.
So yeah, he's number 2, but there's just a little bit more question marks. My number 3 is Zeke. Who do you
I have Zeke as well.
So in Zeke, he's a great player as well, but. Okay, the offensive line isn't the same as it was a couple years ago. Still very good, but it's not quite the same. And they have no pass game right now. That actually worries me.
Des Bryant is gone. Do you really think Dak is going to be the same Dak we saw his rookie year kind of breaking out? I highly doubt it. And that does scare me, and that's why. And that does show that the top 4 are on an island on their own. Are you with me on that one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. So Gurley, Bell are just locked and loaded, ready to go. Easy. He was freaking a stud last year when he played, but his team is going through some growing pains. And then I think we can just jump to number 4, and that's going to be David Johnson. Yep. And he was coming off injury, and that's Bradford. There's more question marks with that team than even Dallas, I think.
Yeah. And the argument I hate too is, well, I'll say with the Zeke thing, I hate the argument that Dallas doesn't have any receivers to throw to anymore, so they have to run the ball. No.
It's not. Do you mean
like I've heard this? They have nobody to throw. This is legitimately something I've heard and read.
Yes,
it's like
they will, but they also every defense can load up on the box.
He is going to be their main part of the offense, but yet if we know that, I think all the other teams know that too.
Yeah.
So
so they don't have Dez, they don't have Wynn. What is the best way to beat them? Take Ezekiel Elliott out of the game, right?
Exactly.
You're trying to load the box. You're trying to pressure him. And then you make Dak beat you by throwing to
Allen Hurns, Terrence Williams. It's going to be I'm hearing Michael Gallup, the rookie they picked up, is going to.
Okay, maybe. What? I like the guy, but also everyone is saying that he's more of a project guy.
Yeah.
That he's not going to be a breakout rookie wide receiver.
The teams are going to. What's going to happen? If Dak might beat teams, but. Teams are going to force Dak to win these games. They're not. Yeah. And Zeke only had a 4.1 yards per carry last year. That's nothing special. I'm not too worried about yards per carry necessarily, but I can see that being the future for him because teams are just going to try to stop him. So that's why he's number 3. He's still great. I don't care if you feel really strong about one of these top 4 and you want to pick him one, do it. You're fine with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
And once again, it's always funny. People always get heated about these are the top 4. Like you can take any of them. He is still ranked number 3. Yeah, there's nothing to be angry about.
He's still great. If you're the 3rd pick, you take him. You're great.
But if you're going, and it just shows why and how we rank, and why there's a thought process behind it.
So number 5, you're not going to agree with me, I bet.
Oh, great.
Saquon Barkley.
You didn't.
Yes,
did you really?
Did. I did.
Oh my God.
I did it.
What?
Yep. I'm going with it. I love this guy. I love this guy. I love this guy. He's so good. He's just so good.
How in the world?
Yes, he's so good. No, he's so good.
How in the world do you rank him above? I mean, he hasn't done it yet.
He hasn't, but he's going to. He's going to.
A team that has mediocre at best offensive line.
He's going to do it.
Oh my God.
They're better now.
That is
They signed Nate Soldier. They also drafted, what's his name? Is it Hernandez, I think? Hernandez?
Yeah.
So they're getting better on the offensive line. Barkley is just... He is.
I do think he's a special talent.
I think so too.
Really high.
I'm just fifth for me. Barkley's fifth.
Okay.
I don't have to go into it too much. He's amazing.
No.
He's great.
Well, there's also
I love it.
nothing that we can back that up with. Like, what am I going to say?
He had great stats in college. He was good.
He's never done it before because he's never been in the league.
He dominated Michigan a couple during that game. Oh man, it was ugly. They beat him up.
Well, he is, and everyone, and this is why he's not going to end up on any of my teams because he will be thought of that highly.
But I've moved him up from about 9th or 10th.
Yeah, and that's where I have him.
Okay.
And I thought that was more than fair.
No, he's too good.
Oh, my God.
He's too good.
Right. It's more of the team. It's not his talent. I do think that he is an NFL-ready running back.
Eli's amazing. 2-time Super Bowl champ.
That's true. Can't argue with that. He
Right?
is a 2-time. I don't know about the amazing thing, but 2-time for sure.
I love Barkley. I love him. I think the guy's amazing.
My number 5, I'm going with Alvin Kamara.
Okay, he's my number 6.
Okay. And I don't think there's anyone. The only thing that you can say is, he has Ingram there. They can't support both of them, something like that. But Kamara was unbelievable. They supported both of them. I mean, I'm trying to think, what were they? So last year, Kamara was 4th and Ingram was 6th. I mean, that is crazy production. But if they give Kamara even more carries, it won't even matter if his yards per clip go down a little bit. This guy is just an unbelievable running back.
Yeah, I mean, he could increase his carries by 80 and still only be 200, which isn't a high amount. Yeah. And still, like, he only had 120 carries.
Yeah, he is such a stud in the passing game.
So I'm gonna take a chance on him at this spot because the catches are gonna be there. He's gonna catch the ball. So I mean, I think he's a sure thing. And he doesn't need, if he ever picks up more carries, it's just gonna be amazing. He's gonna be too good.
And especially the way that team is going as well. I know they have Michael Thomas. They have obviously they have Drew Brees. They can still pass the ball, but it just became very, very clear that this is a team that will just run you over and use their backs every way they can in order to win. Mm-hmm. And they do really, really well when they do that. So there's no doubt in my mind that Kamara and Ingram both will be good. Kamara, I think, is the guy to own, though.
Then who's your number 6?
I have Melvin Gordon.
Okay, he's my number 7. Okay. So I'm just putting Barkley ahead. So we're other than my Barkley pick,
yes,
we would have been right in line.
I kind of thought that was going to happen. And
Gordon's getting forgotten about.
I know. How is that possible? I always get
because he's
really
yards per carry. There's too many people
he gets a ton of
people. There's too many people that they fall in love with the yards per carry thing, and they think, oh man, he only 3.9 yards per carry. He's terrible. That's yards per carry is a flawed stat. It really is. I mean,
it does. It gives you it's only one piece of information you should look at, though.
You run the ball from the 1 yard line to get a touchdown. Exactly. Your yards per carry goes down. It's a 4th and 1, and all you're trying to do is get a yard. You're not trying for anything more. Your yards per carry goes down, but you succeeded on the play.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not. It's just not a good. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes you can look at the stat and it makes sense if they're really low. But this isn't one of those cases because he's going to get plenty of carries. I don't care if the yards per carry is not great. He's going to get goal line carries. He's going to catch the ball. He's safe. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 guy, but I think he's pretty much guaranteed to be a top 10 guy. And that's kind of how I rank it. Even if he finishes 10th. I still feel very comfortable them drafting him right here because I think it's a sure thing.
Exactly. I think he is a running back 1 because I can be sure that he's going to get a lot of carries and he's going to get red zone work and he will score touchdowns.
Yep.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yep.
On a team that looks really good offensively at times, and I don't even think they've hit their peak. And he's the only running back that they really, really use. Yep. I mean, he is a workhorse, if you will. So, yeah, I really, really like Melvin Gordon. And he does. I don't know why he gets so downplayed.
I think he's going to fall to the top of the. Like, you might be able to pull off a Melvin Gordon as a running back 2 in some drafts. It wouldn't shock me.
It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's probably going to happen.
So he was your 7th?
Yep.
All right. So my 7th is, as much as I wanted to downgrade this guy more and more, you look at his numbers, I can't. I have to be fair to him. Kareem Hunt. He disappeared for the middle of the season, but his numbers on the tail end were so good that he still ended up the 3rd back overall. I think that obviously his numbers won't quite return to that because some of those games were just freakish. Mm-hmm. And without Alex Smith and just that offensive year they had was special. It was unique as far as Kansas City goes. So I don't expect it, but once again, he did too good not to put him up here. Number 7, I think, is more than fair. Who is your 8th?
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, okay. So we're just going down this line.
Just except for Barkley. And again, yeah, I've seen, again, this is one, he had that middle stretch where he wasn't very good, but you know what? Then he picked it up again. It picked back up at the end of the year. I think he might have hit just a little bit of a rookie wall. They didn't know quite how to use him. And then guess what? They decided to use him again, and he was great. And I think they might lean on him a little bit more with a rookie quarterback. I mean, they're not going to go away from it. So no. I've heard too many arguments too of, well, now Spencer Ware's coming back, and no, who cares?
I mean, I
don't care about Spencer Ware.
No,
Charkandrick West. I don't care about them.
They could take a couple carries away, but no, I think that they will. I think that they will use that in order to pace the game a little better with that young quarterback. And if you see when they do really, really well is when they give Kareem Hunt a ton of carries. And those games that he did poorly, more than likely he wasn't. And it's a lot. I mean, he does well when he gets over 20. I mean, it is a lot of carries. Yep. But that middle, they were going away from that, and he suffered. So he's a bulk guy that needs it. They know that now. I think they're going to keep giving him the ball, obviously.
I think he has a very, very good chance to beat Melvin Gordon. Even though I ranked Melvin Gordon ahead, I think Hunt has a higher ceiling. It's just not as safe. I think that's kind of why Gordon's ahead. It's not quite as safe right here, but still, he's going to be good.
Yeah, I agree. I think
there's a little bit of
the safety
worry.
aspect is definitely true, and also you see the bookends is unbelievably true because the first 3 games he scored at least 1 touchdown in them, and then the final 4 in the middle he did not. I don't believe unless he caught one. No, he didn't. He didn't catch one. So what is that from week 4 to week 13? He didn't score at all.
Yep.
So that's where we're saying he disappeared. Obviously, quite a bit.
So your number 8.
8 is Fournette.
Okay, and he's my number 9.
Oh my gosh, we are really going down.
Yeah,
so Fournette is once again. I think he is incredibly safe. I already know you're gonna say this, but you do worry about his health just a little bit.
That's the only worry I have.
Right.
If it wasn't for that slight hesitation with his ankles stuff, always, I probably put him honestly above Kamara almost, or right there.
I would put him right below Kamara.
Right above, right around there.
He is kind of a poor man's Gurley.
Yep.
He is on the same situation on a team. He runs incredibly hard. He's not quite as athletic as Gurley is, but they're going to give him a ton, and the team is really built around that.
But the only problem that everyone's going to stack the box against him because Blake Bortles is still his quarterback.
Yeah,
and they have a million
makeshift wide receiver
random receivers to throw to.
I like a bunch of them, but I have no idea which ones you're going to use.
If he stays healthy, he's a top 10 guy. I don't see him. He has the potential to be top 5, but I don't think he does in this offense right now. So I just worry though. He's been hurt since college, so it slightly worries me. That's the only knock I have on him. But still, I'm fine. I think he's going to be a very good option every week. He was great last year and missed some time.
And he's one of those rookies that lived up to the hype.
Yep.
But we kind of thought he would anyway because he was. He's just built to be a running back in the NFL.
Weird thing is, I don't feel like you hear the yards per carry knock on him like you do Gordon, even though they both had 3.9.
Yeah,
you don't hear it on Fournette. It's weird. But all right, so who is your number 9?
Number 9. So Fournette was yours. Yep. My number 9 is Delvin Cook.
Okay,
which
my number 10.
Oh wow, we really did follow each other. And my number 10 is Barkley.
Okay.
So we actually, besides for Barkley, we were exactly the same.
Crazy. And there was no collaboration on this. No. So that means you guys should listen.
And Delvin Cook, I think, is the real deal. I think he is a special talent. I think he is on the correct team. Unfortunately, blew out his knee. So that is definitely something. That's why, obviously, 9 is I think, fair, but also I'm assuming a few things. But you saw the first 4 games that he was playing. 13.7 points, 6.4, 22.9, 11.4, and he missed half that game after he blew out his knee. 2 touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, he was just doing it all. And that was a Vikings team that was finding their rhythm as an offense. I don't know. I think he's the real deal. I really love this kid.
Yep, I do too. And just quick glance at the Fantasy Pros expert ranks. And our top 10 are their top 10. Exactly. Same 10 guys. Their orders.
No, well, we're
different order.
Different order.
Number, yeah. So their order goes currently, it's Bell, Gurley, Zeke, Johnson. So Bell's number 1 currently.
Okay.
Barely, though. I'm looking, he is right now, but it looks like.
And that's why I said I thought the top 10 were kind of locked because I don't see a whole lot of difference. I guess you just shift them around.
And then it's Hunt's 5, Kamara's 6, Fournette's 7, Gordon's 8, Barkley's 9, Cook's 10. So
no, I can get behind that.
yeah,
That's totally fine.
I didn't look at this before doing it either, so it's just we happen to be in line with that.
Me either. But this is where it gets interesting.
This is the second half now. Yes. The top 20 here. Now my number 11 is LaShawn McCoy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've moved him back up. I had him down a little lower, and I just
why and
I don't know.
Why?
It's more of a because he's. I was predicting his downfall too quickly. He's going to turn 30, but I still think that's still the end of the peak seasons. I think most players really don't fall off in their year 30 season. Sometimes it's more of the year after that. And he's been last year though he did drop from 5.4 to 4.0 yard per carry if we want to care about that. So yeah, there's that. He doesn't have Tyrod anymore. So we are dropping him though from what we did last year. I am at least even at 11. I still think it's LaShawn McCoy, and if you can get him this is a running back 2 almost at this point. You're very happy I think with McCoy as a running back 2. So I have moved him back up just slightly after, going through it again, and I feel more comfortable I guess with him. So I went with him number 11.
All right, we will we'll get to him a little bit later.
Who's your 11?
Number 11 is Ingram. Okay. And I had a tough one with this because I do think Kamara will get a little more action. I think Ingram will get a little less. And it's hard to predict the fact that you can have 2 running backs be that productive. But in saying that, Ingram was incredibly good last year. He is definitely the guy they like to hand the ball off to more. And obviously, Kamara is the guy that they throw to a little bit more. He scores a ton of touchdowns in that offense. I mean, he's productive even if he only gets 12 touches. So there's not a whole lot I can say bad against him. So I had to put him up at 11, even though it's scary to have 2 running backs on the same team that high.
And I'll get to Ingram later. I'm going to wait on him because he might be down there a little bit.
All right. And number 12.
Mine is Jordan Howard.
Okay. Jordan Howard's 13 for me, so I'll just say that now because it's close. What do you think about Jordan Howard? He's just kind of safe, right?
It's I think they're still going to use him. Maybe we don't know with the new coaching staff how they want to use it. If Tariq Cohen gets some more work, Tariq Cohen's not an every down back. They're a different player. They're different position. They're both running backs, but they're different players. Different positions.
Jordan Howard will still be one, first and second down.
And so this is kind of he's safe. I think he's safe. I don't think he's special. I don't think he's not a bad player. He's not a special player. He's above average.
Yeah, he's in a good situation as well. Basically,
any running back that's above average that gets the bulk of the carries is going to be fantasy relevant. I mean, be a very productive fantasy player. And that's pretty much what he is. And I think they're going to have a better offense around him. So,
and I think he is. You hit him, and that is about the time I start actually thinking about. Overall points obviously is what people end up looking at, and whenever they're looking at ranks. But at the same time, you want to see how consistent a player is as well. Not saying that's everything, but I do think with him, you do have to take that into account. And it doesn't mean I rated him lower or higher. But when you hit that, who would you rather have? Would you rather have a Howard, or would you rather say even Ingram, which you think that he would be a little safer even?
I don't like Ingram.
Okay. We'll say... I don't know, whoever, McCoy, say.
See, that's why I
like McCoy.
I still like McCoy because I think there's still that higher potential there and still relatively safe. I mean, this could be the year though McCoy gets the injury, so I don't see that happening with Howard. I think he's just going to play. It's not going to be. I don't think he's going to wow anybody, but he's just going to be, I think, good enough.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at with him.
And that's why 12 on yours, 13 on mine, right? So, that's about what happens.
It's a running back
and then,
too, basically.
And then also when you hit here, this is also about the time where every other running back has a counterpart that gets quite a bit of work.
Yep.
Howard doesn't really have that yet. You can say Tariq Cohen, but we haven't really seen it yet.
He's just in a different role.
Yeah, exactly.
Who is your 12?
Number 12 is Devontae Freeman.
He's my 13, so we just...
Okay. And there's not a whole lot to hate about Freeman. Once again, he's awesome, but he also has that running back that has... Coleman is a beast behind him. So they don't absolutely need Freeman. But at the same time, they gave him that big contract. Every time he's out there, he's amazing. They have a good offensive line.
He's not terribly excited about him now.
But it's kind of like Howard, right? I feel like these guys right here, even though I think they are the next tier, but Ingram, Freeman, Howard, how I have them, they all have two of them have a counterpart. But all of them are, I think, are safe, but they also do have a ceiling because of the situation or their talent level,
Yep.
which I think the guys before that all have the ability to possibly be number one. But I think that's kind of the cutoff.
All right. So this is where it gets more interesting, maybe. Well, shoot, we still haven't got to your McCoy. Who's 14?
Number 14
Yeah.
is McCaffrey.
Oh, even with CJ Anderson?
Even with CJ Anderson.
Yeah.
The thing about that, too, is McCaffrey is a unique player. And his rookie season, he just showed that even if he doesn't get all the carries in the world, he is going to be a stud when it comes to the passing game. I think that really buoys his value. Even with CJ Anderson coming in, the guy's too good. And PPR, he'll be even higher. But I feel safe enough putting him 14.
I have him 17, but it's not like a knock against him.
No, that's
it's
not
just,
that
it's
far
just I have
off,
some
really.
guys I put ahead of him. But I'm already hearing I've heard some things with, okay, CJ Anderson signed, that kills McCaffrey's value. It really doesn't.
No, why would it?
All it does is he's still in the same position he was last year. I mean, that's all it is. He's still going to get the same. Yes, I guess it kills his value if you expected him to be an every down back, which we never did.
Yeah.
No one, I don't feel like, because if they didn't sign CJ Anderson, honestly, I think they were going to give Cameron Artis-Payne a little bit of a shot to get some work. McCaffrey's not that player.
He's not a goal line back. And just to kill it right now, if you don't think Christian McCaffrey, you think that CJ Anderson kills his value. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey last year was 15th overall in running backs. Yeah. And he got two touchdowns as running the ball.
Yeah.
He did everything in the passing game.
Yep.
And why in the world would that change?
It's not.
I think his role will get larger. I don't think there's any doubt in that.
I mean, Jonathan Stewart had 198 carries last year. I don't see CJ Anderson doing more than that. That's about CJ Anderson's max right there. It's just CJ Anderson is just he's Jonathan Stewart. McCaffrey's still going to be in the same role, if not still a greater role. CJ Anderson, there's a reason he sat on the market for a little bit after he got released. It's not like he's not a special running back. He's just one of those average to above average running backs. That's it.
And also, if you're the Panthers, this is a smart move. You do not want to use McCaffrey in short yardage situations where he's going to get beat up. He's not built for it. And even though he would be fine, but you really want to shorten the guy's career because you're going to take unnecessary punishment. No, he's a special guy. Use him at the tools he has, and you'll be fine. And I think he is incredibly safe to take around this position.
Yep, I just dropped him to 17, but that's running back 2. He's fine.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So my number 14, Joe Mixon. Jumped him up a little bit, maybe.
My number 15.
Okay. I really, this is the one where there's not much to base it off of.
I was gonna say, I think we're going to take a little bit of crap for this one because I was thinking that maybe you'd be lower on him, I'd be a little higher. Yeah. The guy has all the tools. I mean, what do you really like about him? Why do you think he's going to take the next jump? Because obviously last year...
I still just think I get that Le'Veon Bell vibe, like from year 1 to 2. I don't know. I still feel like this guy is really good player who just wasn't in a great offense. And
Jeremy Hill's gone too.
Yeah, I could get burned on this one, and it could be completely wrong, but there's just something about him. I think he's really good player, and he's still only 21 years old. He hasn't turned 22 yet.
Incredibly young.
So I like, if there's a player that's going to make the next jump to a top level, Mixon has that shot, I feel like.
I agree. I'm hoping we're not predicting it a season early.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're not, because last year we held off and everyone got burned.
Yep.
And I feel like this is the correct time to think he's going to move up a bit.
I do too. So yeah, he's my 14, you're 15. So that puts, let's see, your 14 is McCaffrey. Who's your 15?
Mixon.
16?
Who's your 15?
Well, that's Jay Ajayi.
Is number 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am probably much higher than most on Jay Ajayi. He's 20th in the consensus ranks. I put him 15th because I guess I was in love with Jay Ajayi.
I know. I actually defended him, I think, a few episodes ago. But when I really had to go and I looked back at it, I like Jay Ajayi. I really do. And I wanted to put him up higher. But he's actually just misses my top 20. He would be 21. But it's because I don't know in that offense if he'll have a shot at scoring a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I
went back and looked at it, and I believe it was incredible that I think I'm going off of, I might be off by a touchdown here. I'm going off memory. But I believe that 5 different running backs scored a touchdown, and there was only 9 to go around. And Clement was the one with 4. And Blount, who is their short yardage guy back, a year ago, only had 2 or 3. So it's not the fact that I don't think Ajayi is talented, because he is, and he had a great yard per carry. I mean, he's obviously going to get an advanced role. He's going to get more and more work. And you're going to also possibly start with not Carson Wentz. So maybe that changes how they do the red zone a bit. But I just can't get behind it quite yet. I think the guy's in a lot of talent, but he's in such a good offense that they spread the ball around a lot.
I can see it. I know. And Clement's going to be used. I know. And Sproles is back.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't have a clue coming off those injuries.
But I do think
how old he is.
I do think he's going to soak up the Blunt role as well.
I think he's going to. So I just like Ajayi.
Yeah, he's good. There's no doubt he's good.
And I feel like even at this point, this isn't like a major risk if you're taking, because I'm ranking 15th, but I know he is going to go a little lower than that. But I put him here because I guess I just like him better than the guys after this, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with Ajayi, because I could easily slot him up there. But when I started going through it, I just realized, it gets really, really dicey in here. I think you could really rearrange from 15 to 20 very easily. But he was just the odd man out. But I already knew you would have him up here because I know you like him so much.
But who was your 16?
McCoy finally makes an appearance. McCoy. I don't hate him. I think he's getting older. The offensive line did improve last year.
I think the offense in general might not be very good.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm going. That I think having that young quarterback, and especially since I don't think Allen will amount to anything.
So yeah, even if he's not going to be played, but then it's just McCarron.
Yeah, so you only have McCarron. Right? No idea what he's going to do. I think they'll give him carries. He's not. You know what I mean? It's hard. I'm not going to be drafting the guy. I realize that he probably deserves to be a few spots higher. But
we'll get crap for this.
I don't know about McCoy. He is an aging back on a team that is not looking good. You know what I mean? And the crazy part is, what did they make the playoffs or?
Yeah.
So yeah, they made the playoffs, but that wasn't because of their sparkling offense by any means.
No.
And I think it also helped that they had a running quarterback.
Yeah.
I just think this is the year that I'm going to stay away from McCoy in general, because I just don't trust it.
If the drop off doesn't happen this year, it happens next. So it's going to happen.
I'm hedging my bets. I'm just getting out early.
My number 16, Mark Ingram. So this is the spot where we put these. We
flip flopped. That's right. Funny.
I don't know. It's I don't like have this big spiel on Mark Ingram. It's just I just don't want to draft him. That's pretty much it. I just don't want to draft him. There's nothing I just don't want to. I'd rather have the guys ahead of him. Kamara, I just feel like is going to take just a slightly bigger role. And I don't think they've ever been in love with Ingram. I still don't think that. I really just don't sense it. Even though we played great last year, I just still don't sense it.
That is very true.
It's a weird thing.
I feel like I don't know why they don't like him, but you always hear rumors, and you're like, what the world?
And so it's just not even like I think he's going to be a bad player. This is a running back too. It's solid. I stay away because it doesn't excite me.
Right. There's other guys you'd rather have there.
Then my 17 was McCaffrey, who we talked about. So
my 17th is Derrick Henry, and I'm okay. You're okay with that?
Yeah.
With Deion Lewis on the team, I thought you were going to just rip my head off.
He's my 19th.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad.
I mean, I have a hard time with this one though, because this is a complete I don't know what to expect situation.
Yeah, right. I don't know what Deion Lewis in the Titans offense is going to look like.
And this is a weird one because no one knows what to do with Derrick Henry. I'm looking at the consensus, and he is as high as 9th, as low as 30th.
30th?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Really?
Dang. Yeah. Should I call out the person who put him 30th? I'll find it.
I mean, I think at the very least, he will be the goal line back. He is the guy that will get touchdowns. He's super talented. He's a big back. They should give him a ton of carries, and they'd be better off for it because Mariota has not developed in the passing game the way they wanted to. They should be better. They should get a lot of wide receivers back. But I think Derrick Henry is their best back. And I think Deion Lewis will help in the passing game, but I still think Derrick Henry is going to be the primary guy.
And it was Dan Harris from Fantasy Pros that put him 30th. So there you go, Dan. So, yeah, there's a lot of guys in the 20th. And there's 26th. Michael Beller from Sports Illustrated. Put him 26th. Yep. I don't know what to think.
I don't either. I mean,
okay, Deion Lewis. I'll say Deion Lewis has had trouble staying healthy though. So if somebody thinks Deion Lewis, is coming in there and being the guy. It's just not going to happen. And
It's
a weird. This is a weirdest
Yeah.
one. I just don't know what to think.
It's incredibly hard to determine what a running back will do outside of the New England system as well.
Yep.
They use running backs in very peculiar ways in order to make sure they get yardage and everything like that. He finished 12th overall in running backs, which is saying something on New England. But at the same time, that's a very good team that has a lot of weapons. They distribute the ball well. I don't know if you just hand the ball off to him, 12 times a game, if he's going to be as productive as he was catching a ton of balls. And I just don't know. I don't quite see it. I can see Derrick Henry. So that's kind of where my head's at.
All right. Who is number 18?
Begrudgingly, really, really begrudgingly in this one is McKinnon.
Same with me.
I wanted to put him lower, but
Me too.
right now everyone says he's going to get the primary role. He's going to get all 3 downs. If you're at a team, you're the primary back, you got to be in the top 20 almost. And I say that a couple rookies will be primary and they won't be up here yet. But I don't know. I don't really like McKinnon. I don't think he's all that talented. He's never showed me he can produce.
Okay. Yeah.
But whatever. San Francisco believes in him. They're going to give him a shot. So obviously he has value.
And this is more benefit of the doubt, I guess, with Kyle Shanahan being able to make a fantasy relevant running back. But I don't like this rank. I don't like it being. I have him 18th too. I don't like it. I think it's more of the opportunity right now because there isn't anybody around him. Like Matt Breida or whatever his name is the backup, and he's a small guy. He's 190 pounds. 5'11", 190. He's not much. Joel Williams. I don't think Joel Williams is really anything. We don't know.
No,
So it is McKinnon's backfield.
I did hear that it'd be the latest report on Williams is that it's going to be tough for him to even make the 53-man roster.
And so it's Breida's the backup, and he's just, I don't think.
Oh, he's a
not the guy.
Run of the mill, if that. I mean,
I've seen people that are just falling in love with McKinnon and thinking, okay, but why? How is McKinnon better than Carlos Hyde? And people for some reason hate Carlos Hyde. And
I don't know. Carlos Hyde is a talented running back.
Carlos Hyde won't make my top 20, but that's because of that. That's just because
that
of
three-headed beast
with
that they
Johnson
have.
and Nick Chubb out there. That's the only reason. I don't think Hyde's a terrible running back. And McKinnon's here because of opportunity, and I hate some of the guys below this. That's pretty much why. But this is the highest I can see him ever getting in my ranks. I could see him going lower when we start to know a little bit more about the rookies and what kind of roles they have. Because I could see myself putting, I don't know, Ronald Jones up there, or shoot, I wish I could put like Sony Michel up there, but it's the Patriots, or Darius Geis, and I could see it in Royce Freeman. Who knows? All these guys could pass him. I would actually almost feel more comfortable in some ways, because McKinnon had a lot of years with the Vikings where we kept expecting him to do something and he still couldn't do it. And even last year, yes, I know I railed on yards per carry, but he only, how amazing he was last year, it still was only 3.8 yards per carry. So, and obviously they still made Latavius Murray their main back, didn't they?
Exactly. So you're taking a back that was third on the depth chart. You're giving it to San Fran, and now he's supposed to be a star. It makes no sense to me. I know that they say that he's a very athletic guy, but I just don't think he's a very good running back, to be quite honest. He probably is a great athlete, but I haven't seen it yet.
I don't think he's made for the main back role. I don't think he is.
I don't either.
I mean, and Minnesota didn't think so either. So
yeah, but to be fair, San Francisco gave him a lot of money. They're hyping him up.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to use him, and that does give him value. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it will overhype him, and he will be on none of my teams because there's no possible way I'm going to draft him higher than this, and I guarantee he goes higher than that.
Yeah, I think so too. So, but actually, wait, you think that? Let's find out what he actually is ranked. I think we might actually be surprised.
Okay,
and we might slightly be high on him, which is a weird.
No. I would be very, very surprised.
I don't have. I'm going to pull him up here. I'm going to pull up the ranks. McKinnon is 18th. So
we're right on line.
Weird, right? But he's as high as 11th, as low as 32nd.
30. Well, that seems a bit excessive too. But
so let me see who ranked him 32nd.
Who ranked him 11th?
Yeah, let's see. Who are these people?
I was going to say 32nd, whatever.
Who are these experts? Dalton Del Don from Yahoo Sports. Brad Evans from Yahoo Sports.
Just straight up.
Bobby Sylvester from Fantasy Pros. Good old Bobby.
Naming people now.
Yeah, they can call me out. I should have mentioned I'm on the expert ranks now, so they can call me out. You can see me right there. RB 18. That's where I put him. Whoa, he's as low as 44th. On 43rd, Dale DeMott from Eat Sleep Fantasy puts him 43rd.
Someone that hasn't updated their rankings, maybe?
I don't know. So there's a couple that put him quite lower. So I don't know.
It's still very early, so
some people haven't updated. All right, who is? Let's see. My 19th was Derrick Henry. So who's your 19th?
19th is Drake from Miami.
He's 20th for me.
And I think he's an intriguing back. I really more have an issue with Miami than I do with Drake. I thought he looked really good at the end of the year. They gave him a lot of carries. Supposedly he's putting on some weight in order to handle the extra workload, supposedly. So I'm intrigued by Drake, but, at the same time, he's 19th for a reason. I just can't get overly amped about Miami. Ajayi couldn't really get it done there either.
Yep. It's the team. I think this is sometimes you draft the guy because he's the main back in town, but the team's terrible, so it doesn't really matter. Like Paul Perkins last year. Remember, Paul Perkins was drafted because he was the running back, but for a very bad team. So put him there. All right. So my top 20's done. All my guys have been taken. So we have one more because you did not have J.J. in the top 20 like I did. So your number 20, let me think here. It's not Lamar Miller.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's not Deion Lewis.
Nope.
Alex Collins?
You know it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I know you don't like Alex
It's weird.
Collins.
Okay, Alex Collins. I could see him not being the starting running back in a few weeks, but some people really love this guy.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the offense of Baltimore also goes against him as well. But who else is going to be the starting running back?
Kenneth Dixon. I'm just kidding.
We've
been hearing Kenneth Dixon for how many years?
He probably will get some carries, but the truth is, especially the second half of the season, Alex Collins did very, very well for the Ravens. I think it's his job to lose. And right now, really, he is one of the last guys that you just know that he's going to get the bulk of the carries. After that, it does get a lot more dicey. So would he be my first pick? No. Do I think he has upside? Yeah, I do. A little bit. But once again, he comes with a lot of risk because you're true. Kenneth Dixon, he could overtake him. You never know.
Yeah, and he is my 21st ranked. I did put him.
Okay,
he'd be 21st. But this is the guy where I think he could easily be out of a job. But then again, this is also the spot where. So did you have Ajayi at 21?
At 21.
Okay. So I feel like after 21. It's where it's going to get interesting when we actually finish up those ranks later on. This is where there's a lot of rookies who could do something.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Carlos Hydes, Lamar Miller, who's still a starter, really, and he's just not even on our radar
Trying
anymore.
to guess who the starting running back of Green Bay will be.
Yeah, exactly. And there's the Chris Thompsons, the Tevin Colemans, those types, the Duke Johnsons even. Then you got the Marshawn Lynch, Doug Martin thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of guessing that is going to...
Marlon Mack, maybe.
Yeah. Really...
There's a lot of... Isaiah Crowell. There's so much stuff going on down here.
Even think about that Duke Johnson was 21st last year, right?
Yep.
But... So they have him, Chubb, who they like, and Hyde, who obviously Hyde was 11th overall. So how does that... one team can hold three guys that could easily make... the 20s.
Yep.
It is kind of a cluster down there.
It really is. That's why we're not ranking it yet. We got to get some stuff sorted out before we can do anything with that. So that's it for our top 20. But I do have one question that came through on Instagram for us.
Hit me up.
I don't even know how to say the guy's name. What would you say his name is?
Are you setting me up on this one?
I don't even know how to, for some reason.
Vooch 03. Vooch.
His question for us is just he's wondering our thoughts on Deontay Foreman. He's in a dynasty league, so he doesn't need him obviously to be a starter, it says, but do you think he has potential to be a top 20 fantasy running back this year?
Hell yeah.
I know you're a Foreman guy, so that's why I saved this one.
I think Lamar is going the wrong direction. I think Deontay Foreman is going to be more of a first and second down kind of guy. And I do. I think it's kind of primed as long as he comes back healthy. I think this is going to be his year to take it away from Lamar Miller.
Yeah, Lamar Miller has just had many years to prove himself over Miami and Houston. It just doesn't happen.
No.
And Foreman, that game he got hurt, he really started looking good. And it's just disappointing he got hurt because I think it would have been his job already last year. We'll just got to see if he's healthy. I think he's going to take over too. If you're in a dynasty league, I think I think it's a very solid dynasty pick to have right now. Wait and see what happens.
I like that a lot. And I really like the way that offense is going too. I mean, you get Deontay Foreman back from injury. Obviously, you get the QB of the future back. And then also hopefully Fuller. I mean, that is a lethal offense. And I think that there's enough to go around to feed all the mouths there.
All right, so that'll do it for running backs. I think, we'll do wide receivers next week, maybe. Like
what are we?
25, 30?
Top 30?
Yeah, something like that.
We're kind of doing the starting.
Relevant players. Yeah. And then after that, we'll do quarterbacks, which, speaking of Houston, Deshaun Watson is I remember I almost talked myself into him at like 3 the other day, and now if you see my current ranks, it's not 3.
What? Why did he drop? I really do love Deshaun Watson. I think, especially in the quarterback situation, the way it is. Oh, man.
I'll just give you a little preview. He's number 7.
Number 7.
Dropped him. So you have to figure out who's around after that.
I almost don't want to. I like going into it blind.
So, but that's like 2 weeks away. So
yeah, I might have to take a look.
He might drop further. So
just give me a little taste.
You can go on Fantasy Pros. It's on there. All right, that'll do it. We'll be back next week. Wide receivers. Talk to you guys then.